Being around the most creative people in the industry is where we wanted to be.
But what we love most of all is taking everything that we've learned over the last 14 years, whether it's fashion or photography or all of our wedding and event experience, and bringing it to you each and every week. Hello and welcome to Notes from the Lightbox. I'm Stephanie Boye. I am joined again today with my friend Jo Gartin, who is a Los Angeles-based wedding coordinator. You may not know her, but her name is behind many amazing celebrity events, and some for not so famous people. But I love Joanne's creativity because she is just always one step ahead, and all of her events seem very unique and just different. She really is a trailblazer in the way that she sort of approaches weddings. So I asked her, what inspires her when she starts planning a wedding? And I love the fact that she has some words that she uses to try to infuse into each of the events that she takes on. So I was hoping you could tell us so that maybe our guests can sort of think along those lines and get inspired themselves for their own weddings.
Right. Well, for me, I think there were 5 words that, in different ways I like to make sure I touch upon those within each wedding. So the first one is to be thoughtful. And I think just walking through your wedding day as a guest is very important. So imagining what they'll feel like when you arrive. Will they be taken care of? Should you kind of provide, beverages, whether it be lemonade or champagne, when you arrive? Then how long will they be there? Will they have enough, time to get to the ceremony? When they're sitting down, can they see you well from where they're sitting? Don't be scared to kind of put a chair down, take a seat. So walk through the entire day. When you're designing your tabletop, so the flower arrangement's too tall, will they be able to see across the table? Will too many guests have their back to you? So kind of, think about it all.
That is such a good point, because I think for most people, the wedding day is about the bride, and you don't think about that, and that is such a key element to a great event. I mean, really, if your guests are having fun, you're gonna have fun. There's nothing worse than a big centerpiece that you can't see and you're looking around. That's a great point.
So, thank you.
You're welcome.
So, the next one is to be inspired. For me, inspiration comes from many different places. I love going to the bookstore. I know there aren't that many of them left, but in LA they've got, Book Soup is a great one. But and sit down and kind of even flick through home books, home magazines. Because for me, a wedding is like an extension of your home. It's like having one big, massive dinner party. So I often get inspired through books. Also, there's so many blogs. Sit down, a few times, kind of go to Style Me Pretty, go to Once Wed, and just you'll get lost in it. And there's lovely free kind of information. Take screenshots of it, add it to a Pinterest board, so that when you're with your florist, you can say, here are the flowers that I love, and create a little like an online scrapbook.
But I think, and you're right, unfortunately there's like overload when you're looking at Pinterest. Sometimes there's just too much out there, but sometimes I think where great wedding coordinators, what they do is, your inspiration doesn't have to come from a wedding anything. It can come from a Monet painting, really. It can come from anything. It can really kind of inspire you. What are the colors? What is the feel? What is the vibe? All that kind of stuff. So you really don't have to look just at wedding stuff. And I think going to a bookstore is amazing, because you can literally pull out, a book on Karl Lagerfeld and look at all of his, clothing and go like, oh, that would be amazing. So there is inspiration plenty that's not just Pinterest, where you might get overwhelmed by what someone else has chosen.
Right.
Or maybe someone else's.
Even if you're at a restaurant and you happen to have a meal that you really like, maybe kind of jot down the ingredients that were listed on the menu, tell that to your caterer or the hotel that you're having a wedding, and see if they can kind of customize something for you. So next word, number 3.
Yeah.
Be savvy.
Okay.
I don't think even when you have an unlimited budget, it feels good to kind of be savvy. No one wants to get ripped off.
Yeah.
And there are great places, and just looking on Amazon, Etsy.com is like a wonderful creative online marketplace.
And it's not super expensive.
It's not. They're individual, unique vendors. There's a lot of customization. So
they had these great tea towels that I saw on there that a bride and groom did for all of their guests, and they were like cheap. It was like $2 to have it like so beautiful. And I thought, oh my God, that's a great favor. I mean, people are doing favors of things like we were saying last time that get sort of pitched. And if you give people something that they actually will use, it's amazing. But yeah, Etsy's great. Yeah, and Savvy. That's actually how you started doing this, right?
Yeah, I mean, I planned my own wedding.
Because someone charged you wanted to charge you a lot of money.
I don't think I even met with anyone.
Oh, really?
It was not really an option. So now we're up to the fourth word, which is being romantic. I think especially grooms tend to shy away from public romance.
So true.
And, you know, it is your wedding day, and if there's one day that you're going to declare your love, it's this day. And that doesn't need to be cheesy. Saying your own wedding vows is, just the promises that you make out loud, and kind of making them your own is really important. In terms of, I mean, a lot of people don't do it, and definitely the more religious ceremonies don't. But I think that's, if you want to kind of be romantic, and if you're up for it, that's a lovely way to do it. Bringing in, for a recent wedding, we did the cocktail napkins, and I asked the bride to give me 3 little notes to write to the groom, and vice versa, and I printed them on the cocktail napkins as a surprise. So during the cocktail hour, he had written something sweet about her, and neither of them knew what they were, and then the guests get to read them first. So it's like they get a drink with a little note that says, I promise. Most of them were I promise. So I promise to make you a cup of coffee every morning. Love, Josh.
That is so cute.
So those kind of things.
I always say we always tell our brides and grooms to write each other a love letter on that day, just because it's such a highly emotional day. It's such a great way to express your love, because you can get wrapped up. I mean, I remember my own wedding day. It's like things go so fast, you don't sometimes have a chance to think. But when you start with like a love letter, we've had brides read it like back to back before they turn around and do like the first look, which is like over the top emotional, which is really beautiful. But I love that idea. You do have to take time to make it somewhat romantic, and you're right, some people are shy, but I mean, even if you do your first look and it's away from everybody else, and it just gives you a chance to be alone together, because I think you're more shy and inhibited if there are a ton of people around. So I love that.
Right.
All right.
And the cocktail napkins, you don't even have to be there.
There you go.
Okay, the last word, which I think is relevant to all parts of your life, anyone's life, should be anyway, is to be grateful. And you can incorporate that many ways. It doesn't need to be elaborate, but whether or not you include a little thank you within, if you say a few words as part of your ceremony, if you ask someone to do a blessing independent of faith, to start your dinner, even just kind of how grateful you are to have all your friends and your family in one space, and to have each other, and to be able to celebrate love together is really nice as well. To thank your family, thank those that supported you, whether or not it's just a little handwritten note, whether it's part of a speech.
I think that is so nice. I've literally never heard of that, but I mean, honestly, if somebody said a prayer, I mean, there's nothing better than gratitude for the people that you were special enough to invite to your wedding.
Right.
So how nice is that? I mean,
how
many times has a guest actually felt like you were grateful for them to be there?
No, it's really nice. It's old school. I mean, again, it doesn't need to be religious to have everyone. You don't have to hold hands, but just to
hold it, kumbaya.
But there's actually something very there's something very refreshing about it. Just to hold hands. Sometimes you don't know the person sitting next to you, and to say a blessing, just to say thank you for
everything in life should start with gratitude. So to begin and to end your wedding with gratitude for those who have supported you and given you love your whole life is amazing.
Exactly. So yeah. So and thank you for having me.
Oh, well, you're welcome, and thank you for being here. I'm very grateful. Yes. And to learn more about Jo, she started this amazing blog that I'm really excited about, which is...
It's very new. It's called www.loveisbyjogartin.com.
And there you will see some really awesome things. And it isn't just about weddings. It's about dinner parties, and it's about just fun things in our kids' school.
It's about love.
It's about love. All things related to love. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for watching. Gratitude. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe and visit us at www.notesfromthelightbox.com. Great to see you.